Good afternoon, students. Sorry, I was mute. I started recording. Yeah, yesterday we discussed about the template integration, and we created one project. Okay, which is nothing but an Aurora project, and where we integrated some files into JSP files, which are previously in the HTML and the contact page and the home page index pages, and we created admin login page, and we also created a database for a project in our SQL, and we created the admin, and we have given the default values for the admin login page. Okay, so then what we have done, we have created admin login, and we checked with the validations. Okay, so when the admin given the values, and we process the data in our admin login process, right? So let me show you that. So here, the admin in the admin login process, we retrieve the data. Okay, and we connected with the database, and we executed the query to check whether these details are valid or not. Okay, once the details are valid, then he can goes to the admin homepage. And also we have discussed about the session management. Okay, we also discussed about the session management. And here, when the admin logs in, okay, when the admin logged in, his email was set into our session. So when the session expires, okay, so when the session expires without crashing any system of our application, okay, without crashing our applications, we are just keeping in an admin header with this session. If it is equal, we are just simply redirecting to the admin.jsp login page. Okay, here admin.jsp page is nothing but the admin login page. So we are handling the session management also. So then it will goes to the admin homepage. So in the admin homepage, we created one admin header. We also created an admin header with new header, just same like in a main header. In the change password, logout, and the homepage we have given. So now in the today's class, we will create a custom. So let me run this project and show it to you. Let me share the edge, share it. See in the admin, okay, you know, right, where we have created this header in the main header. So now what we need, so we need to create a customer page. Okay, so we didn't create any customer page. It's giving us a status 404, which is request not found. So back, so let me create one customer file. Okay, customer.jsp. So here, web app JSP file, customer.jsp. So you already know we have created separate files for head links. Okay, these are known as head links. Include file equals to head links.jsp. Now we also created the header. Include file equals to header.jsp. So this has to be main header. So it's giving me error for that. So we also created the include separated file, which is nothing but a footer.jsp file. So what we need now, we have created an header, we have created the footer. Now we need one banner area, okay, to display the customer login, and we need to take the details of the customer, like if it is in the login page, it requires email and password and the login button. Along with the login button, we want to take the register button also. If he is a first time user, he need to register in our application. So what we'll do is, for the banner area, I'm just taking this, and for the form, I'm taking this. Okay, so let me here. So this is in a customer login. Okay, and so here it's an email and the password same, but in the place of the button. Okay, so let me take one anchor link here. So let me give it as a register. Okay, give it as a register and just give the same class of that button. So which is nothing but button, and I need to give the one H reference address. So when the user clicks on the register button, he has to register, right? So I'm just giving the customer register.jsp. So I need to create one page on customer register.jsp. So let me show it to you how it's. So share it and refresh this. Okay, now we have created the customer, right? So when you hover on it, see in the bottom left, we can see the customer.jsp page. So when I click it on, see it can show you like customer login, email, password, login, and register. Let me adjust these buttons first. Where it is, text right and call and D9. So six, it's in the different drive. Yeah. Yeah. So now see, this is an email address and the password. If you have registered, but we didn't created any register page yet, right? So we need to create an register button. So why it's going? Okay, then before let me take one other class. Okay, this is a generic button bootstrap info. Let me take and see what is the color of it. Okay, and take it as one. Form group. I'm taking form group and deflex it. Now it's but it's showing some error. Okay, then let me take this as also one generic button itself. So I'm changing the classes here in the button. Okay, generic button primary. So let's see. Now that's simple for me. Okay, see what I have changed here is I changed the classes of this both the buttons. Okay, I just given the class as a generic button info, generic button primary. So let me show it that to you. Okay, so in the Eclipse, now see here I changed the button class change and some space between that in and ampersand NBSP for the space, and I use the register. So now I need to create one file for the register, right? So customer register new JSP file customer register. So here also same I need to include the include file headlinks.jsp and file equals to main header.jsp and the footer.jsp. So now what we need again banner class. So like a banner we have taken from the customer, right? So this banner area will take same banner for each class. So here replace it with the customer register. Okay, so we need the form, right? So which is nothing but here why I'm using this means by default we use some classes here. Okay, so here see contact form and contact area p120, which is nothing but the padding of that. form, okay, for CSS classes and the Bootstrap classes. I'm just taking that. Okay, so if it is not the CSS, so we can just simply take the form tag and the input tag and the label tags. Okay, there is nothing much differences, but we take the CSS and Bootstrap classes. So this is a form group and everything. So I'm just copying that. If we written everything, so it takes time. So when I click it on the register page, it will go to the customer register.jsp page. Okay, let me show it there. So okay, see when I click it on the register page, I'm in the register page itself, but it's showing the same form because we didn't change any forms in our Eclipse. So let me change the forms in the Eclipse. Okay, so here email, and let me take the full name here first. Okay, so I'm just taking this, and here taking the full name, enter full name. Type of the full name as text, I'm taking text. An ID I'm giving as a name. The name I'm giving as name itself. So placeholder, he can enter full name. Okay. Now just like this, full name, email, password. I also need the mobile number. So I want to take the mobile label, and let me give the type as a tel. Okay. So we have the type of tel here. So for the mobile numbers, and let me take the ID as tel and the name as mobile. Okay, so in the mobile number, I'm just giving the placeholder also, the mobile number, and I want the specific mobile numbers only, like the pattern, it has to be started from the 6 to 9. Okay, so which are the numbers starting from 5, 4, 3, 2? It doesn't allows you. So I want to give one pattern for here. So here we use a pattern attribute. Okay, so inside the pattern attribute, we need to take what are the constraints you are using, like 6 to 9. I need the numbers from 6 to 9, and how many numbers from 0 to 9? I need 9 remaining 9 numbers. Okay, so remaining 9 numbers, but the first number, it has to be started from 6 to 9. First number has to be started with a 6, 7, 8, or 9. So I'm just giving the pattern here. And you can give the title also here, title attribute. Like if he enters any error number, it will show you like the number has to be, okay, the number has to be starts with 6 to 9 and 10 digits only. So you have to enter only 10 digits, and it has to be started from 6 to 9. So you can give the pattern, and you can give the error title. We say that when the user gets an error, it will this title will be displayed to the user for the better communications. Okay, now mobile number, and let me take the date of birth. Okay, the date of birth of the user, date of birth, birth. The type we take as date. Okay, and DOB I'm giving the ID, and the name also I'm giving the DOB itself. DOB. And here also, if you want to keep the constraint, like if you want to allow the user to only give the date of birth of the previous dates only, not the present and after the dates. Okay, after dates also you don't want to give any like actions to give the dates. Okay, so you can just simply take the what we can take as max equals to, okay, here we use the expression tag. Okay, so in the expression tag I'm taking the Java dot time, we have the time module dot local, so time dot local date, okay, and local date now. So it will restricted to only before dates, not from the future dates, okay, previous dates only it will enable. Now what we have, what we can take, date of birth, mobile number, and we can take the gender, okay. So for the genders, let me take the select. Okay, so here let me take the select. So here in the select we can take the options. So options, let me give the select the gender, okay. So in the second option I will give it as male, okay. In the third option, let me take the female. Option others, okay. So we need to give the values for each and every option. So first I'm giving the value as a select. So why I'm giving the select, I will explain to you, okay. And here I'm giving the value when the user select the male, the value has to be stored as a male in the database. So just taking the value equals to male, and here let me take it as female, and here let me take the value equals to others, okay. So for the select I want to give the name, right? So for the input we give the name, and for the select also we need to give the name, and the name of that is a gender. And let me take the required field also, so it doesn't works, but I need to give the id as a cell. And here I'm just taking small what you can say JavaScript like on change. Okay, when you are changing this drop down, okay, this is a drop down, so you need to call the get button. So why I'm using here is, so when you select the gender, okay, when you select this, select the gender, the value will be select, so which is not the valid value. So when the value is a select, you don't need to, okay, allow the submit button to enter. So here in the submit button I am just taking a id, okay. So btn, so you need to write one small script. So 1 second. Yeah, where are we? Here, right? So here we need to write one small script. So here I given the function name as a get button, right? So on change, when you change the drop down only, it will calls that function. So in our head, okay, in the head we can place all the links, scripts, and everything. So all those are we included in head links, and we included that file in our head. So now I am writing the script. So I am using the script tag here. In the script, we need to write the function. Okay, function to get button. So why I'm just giving the get button is, so when he select the below, okay, so the this button has to be disabled, so it doesn't. So let me give it here as a register, and here let me take as a back button. So this has to be go to the customer page, save it. And so okay, I want to disable this register button, so that without selection of the gender he cannot register. So that's my case, okay. So here in the get button, this is a small JavaScript, okay. So don't worry about this, var select. So here we given the id for this, right? So which is nothing but cell, so that has to be retrieve the value by using the id. So which is nothing but document dot get element by ID. So what is the ID? We have given, right, cell, okay, dot value. So now it will retrieve the value of that particular drop down, and we need to check whether that cell value is equals to select. If it is select, okay, if the value is select, so we need to disable the button. So what is the button here? BT and ID. So with the document dot get element by ID, okay, by ID, which is the ID BTN. So that button, okay, button style dot display equals to button style dot display equals to, I'm just giving the none, okay, none. So if it is not the select value, if we selected any male or female, so we need to show the button, right? So here document dot get element by ID, okay, we need to give the same ID BTN dot style that has to display, okay. When you select other than select value, so we need to do the value. So 1 second again. So here we need to give the block. So if he selects other than male, female, or others, the register button will be not displayed to him. Okay, if we select the male, female, or anything only, then he can display the button. So I need to call this function when the drop down changes, but also I want to change that, okay, I want to call that function when the page loads. Okay, so I'm giving the event as a on load get button. Okay, when the page load also, I'm just calling this button. Okay, so now what, I think we are enough with this. Let me take one more, and that is address. Okay, let me take it as address. Okay, um the type, let me give it as a text area, so it might be the full, and ID as address, and the name as address. So let me remove this max and enter address in the placeholder. I'm just using the placeholder and the end tag of the text area, and I'm just giving the max length of this. Okay, so the max length has to be just 250. Okay, so now we are done with the customer page. In the action, okay, in the action, we need to give the customer registration process. Customer registration process dot JSP. Okay, customer registration process dot JSP. So when you entered all these details, okay, when you have entered all these details, the details will obviously send to this register process dot JSP page. In that page, you need to retrieve the data and you need to save the data in our database. Okay, so that is the point here. So let me create the customer registration process. Okay, new file, JSP file, customer registration process. Okay, so let me, so in the customer registration process, you don't need the header and footer because it is in a backend process. So you can just simply use a head link. Okay, head links itself, include file equals to head links dot JSP. Now here what you need to first retrieve the data and then you need to send the data to the database. So we need the connection of the database. So I am including the database connection also. Include file equals to db.jsp. So then what we need to retrieve the whatever the data is entered by the user in the customer registration page by using the names of those inputs. Okay, here we have the name of the different inputs, right? Your email, name, password, mobile, date of birth, and the gender and the address. Okay, so let me take it here. Now let me take the try and catch exception handling e dot print stack trace. Okay, So or else you can also print in the dot println of error message as e dot get message. Okay, so inside the try block you can write the actual code, which is nothing but to retrieve the all the values. So first let me retrieve the string name. Okay, request dot get parameter of name. What is the name of that full name parameter here? Full name we have taken just name itself, right? So you can just simply take the name and it. And next what we need to retrieve the email of that particular customer. So request dot get parameter. Okay, get parameter of email. So then what we need next, we need to retrieve the password of the user. So pwd request dot get parameter of pwd. What is the name we have given to that input? Okay, pwd, right? So that pwd, okay, so that we need to retrieve by the name of that. So next what we need the date of birth, or what we have, mobile number, date of birth and everything, right? So let me retrieve the mobile number then. Mobile, so with the request dot get parameter of mobile. So we have given the name as a mobile, so I'm just taking the mobile. Next we need to retrieve the date of birth, so let me take that as DOB request dot get parameter of DOB, right? We have given the name as DOB. Okay, so what we have the request dot get parameter of gender. Okay, and gender, right? So gender, then address, we have the final one as address. To let me string address request dot get parameter of address. So now we are done with the all the details. We have retrieved all the details, but we need to save all this detail into the database. So here, whatever the date we have, it is in the stringer format. Okay, it is in the string format. So we need to convert the string data format into the SQL date. So for that, we need to import okay, java dot SQL dot date. Okay, so we need to import this class. So here, the help of okay date. Veneer. Date equals to DOBR. Let me take the date of it. Okay, and date dot, okay, and the value of the string. Value of the string. So what is the string value? It is stored in the DOB variable, which is nothing but DOB variable. So now this is an SQL date. Now I need to explain about to you about like just a encryption topic here. So whatever the user has entered the password, we need to encrypt that password by using the base 64. I think you know, may not, but the base 64 is nothing but it will convert whatever the password is there. Okay, it will convert it into encryption format. Okay, it has some logic behind that. Okay, so it will first separate the characters and it will give the values according to the base 64 table. We have the separate values for the alphabeticals and numbers. Okay, so then it will convert into hexadecimal, then it will remove the two zeros from the front, and then it will combine all those. Okay, so it has some process backend in the back in the base 64. So the base 64 we use for the encryptions of our passwords. Okay, so let me import that also here. Java dot util dot base 64. Okay, util dot base 64. So here simply I am taking the string encryption password encpwd equals to, it's just a variable name. Okay, you can take whatever you want. And here with the use of a base 64 dot get encoder. Okay, you need to get the encoder dot, okay, encode to string bytes. So what is the string byte? It is pwd dot get bytes. Okay, get bytes. Now we have successfully encrypted password and we converted the string data into the SQL data. So we also connected with our database. So then we need to insert the data into the database. But first we need to create the table. Okay. First we need to create the table for this particular data. Okay. So we will, okay, let me write the prepare statement and let me take that details, just assuming as we are creating as a table. So I'm just writing one prepare statement ps equals to con dot, okay, prepare statement. Now insertion, right? So I need to take the insert keyword, insert into, just assume as in a customers table. I'm creating the customers table, and here I want to take the full name. Okay, f name is a full name, and I want to insert the email of the user and the password of the user, mobile, okay, date of birth, gender, and the address. Okay, here see, here I'm just giving the names but not that what are the data types, because I don't need the data types here. I just need the names of that table. So when we create in the table for this, okay, for the customers table, then we need to give the data types of particular columns like f name, what is the data type, email, password, mobile, date of birth, everything. And here we need to give the values. I think we need to set the values for all these, okay, full name, email, and everything. So we need to count how we 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So we need to place the 7 placeholders in the values. Okay, 7 placeholders in the values. So here you can, now you can set the values in the, for those 7 placeholders by using ps dot set string. Okay, ps dot set string. What is the first one, which is nothing but f name. So the name is presented in the name variable. So 1 comma name. Okay, and same for the second. Okay, second column. What is the second column? Email. So in the second column, we need to send the value as a email. Okay, so and what is it there in the third column, which is nothing but password. That password is there in the PWD, which is nothing but string password. But here what we need to pass the encrypted password. So I'm using ENCPWD encrypted. The encrypted password is present in the ENCPWD, right? So I'm taking that encryption password. Now what we need? We need to send the mobile number. Okay, so here the mobile is stored in the mobile variable. So the fourth column we need to send ps dot set string comma what we have, date of birth. So the date of birth is in the date format, so I am taking as a date here. Okay, not the string. So fifth comma what, where it is, dob. So here I will take the dob ps dot set string gender. Okay, so it's another 6 comma gender. Now ps dot set string of 7 comma address. Okay, 7. Now we are successfully uh, set the strings. Okay, for this placeholder we already set the values. So then we need to execute this ps. Okay, we need to execute this query. So ps dot execute update. So now it will result in the rows, like it result in the integers. So I'm just taking the integer r equals to ps dot execute update. Okay, ps dot execute update. Then if this r is greater than 0, it has successfully executed. So here then I'm just separating the JSP code and the Java code by using this scripts and scriptlets. So here if it is successfully, okay, successfully register, I'm just navigating him to the login page, which is nothing but customer.jsp page. Okay, customer.jsp page with one message. Okay, like our alert. So let me give the alert here as registered. Okay, register successfully. If it is not executed successfully, so we need to send the message and we need to navigate him, right? So let me say it as fail to register. Okay, so please try again, and I need to send him to the same customer register page so that he can register again. Okay, so save it. So before running our application, first we need to create the database for this. Okay, we need to create the database for our customers table. So let's go into the database. uh SQL, right? So here, and let me create the table here. uh, Create. Okay, we need to select the database. What is our database? Okay, we have Aurora project database, right? So in the Aurora project, we need to create one table for the customers. So let me give the customers ID default begin. Okay, begin variable auto increment. So here we don't need to give the any IDs. Okay, so it will automatically incremented, and this has to be primary key. Okay, this has to be primary key, and the f name and the type of their f name is a varchar 255, and the email also varchar 255, and the password varchar of 255. Okay, and the mobile, let me take the begin, and the date of birth as date, gender as the varchar 255, and let me take the address as a text. Okay, and here at what date he has particularly registered. Like, let me take the registered date, which means whenever the data is inserted into this table, that date and time will be tracked in this registered date by using date. Okay, date and time. Okay, by default current. Okay, current timestamp. Okay, current timestamp by default current timestamp, which means whenever the user is registered, the date and time and the date and time will defaultly inserted into this table. And also I want to take one more column here, one more column as a status. Okay, status is nothing but is a varchar type. Okay, and the default has to be pending. So the default has to be pending, which means whenever the user register, the user is successfully registered, but the profile has to be checked by the admin, and then admin can accept that customer. So then only the customer can get into login. Okay, login and goes into the home page. Okay, so let me run this line. Let me run this query first. So here the query created table. Okay, the 0 rows affected. So let me refresh this and goes to the Aurora table. See here we have the two tables, which is admin table, which is customers tables. In the customer table, see here we have created everything. Okay, now let's go into the application. Let's dive into the application and we see whether we can register or not. We can registering. See, let me just refresh this. Okay, see now you can get see every details. Okay, full name, email address, password, mobile number, date of birth, and the gender. Okay, and the address. Okay, 1 second. Let me change the class of that drop down so it will look some. form. Okay, so when I okay. So now you can see full name, email, password, mobile number, date of birth, gender, and address. Okay. So see here, you can just go to the back button, but not the register button. Why? Why? Because in the drop down, it is in the select the gender, but we didn't selected anything. So it's not showing our register button. When I select the mail, okay, see here, you can see the register button. So that is a small snippet, JavaScript snippet we use to disable this button and enable the button when we select the values in our drop down. Okay, so it's a simple one. Now let me take one name here. What the name? Let me take the Siri Kant, or let me take the Siri. Let me take the Srihan and email as a srihan@gmail.com. The password as root. I'm just taking the password as root and the mobile number. Let me start with the 5432, some wrong number. Okay, so and I also taken the large numbers and see here in the date. When I select the date, it doesn't showing the after future dates. Okay, it's just showing you the previous dates itself. So that's a where we use a max and we use a java.time.local.now. Okay, if you want to disable the previous dates, you can use a min here. Okay, you can use a minimum. So in the case when you want to disable the future, you can use a max attribute. In the case where you need to disable the previous dates, okay, so you can use a min. Now this already fair, and let me take some kbhp. Yeah, the height band. Okay, simply click on the register. See it giving me error as please match the requested format. So in the title we have given, right, the number has to starts with 6 to 9 and 10 digits only. So let me use the 10 digits. Okay, it's keep on showing you the error message. Now, again, let me start from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so I just given and register. So it's again giving the message why we are starting with 6 only, but here we have the huge number. Okay, it only accepts only 10 numbers. Okay, so see after 10 numbers, the error is gone. So click it on the register, name, action. Okay, 1 second, guys. Customer registration process. This is a customer registration process. Name, email. So what is the error we are getting? JSP param standard. Okay, sorry. Second. Where it is in the customer registration page. So here I just can close that one. So it's asking me the params. If not, the data will be. So just simply click on the register button. Say it's giving us a registered successfully, okay, and sending it to the customer login page. Okay, so it's giving the register successfully. So we will check it in our SQL, so whether the data was inserted into our database or not. Okay, so this is our table, right? So this is our table. So let me refresh this and see here that name has inserted as Srihan, email, and the password as encrypted. Okay, in the backend, we have used the base 64 to encrypt our password. So it will encrypted and stored in our database. And the mobile number, date of birth, mail, address, see it capture the time of when we have registered and the status as pending. Okay, so this is how we do register for the customers. Okay, and In the tomorrow's class, I will explain like view customers in the admin, and we click accept and reject. Okay, so we need to accept and reject the customer. Then we need to login from the customer login page. Then we'll go to the home page and we will create the customer header there, like my profile, change password, log out. Okay, in the admin page also we need to do the add notifications, view notifications. Okay, so I will explain you everything in the tomorrow's class. Okay, and we can also register with image also. So when you are registering with image, you need to change the entire code into multi-part, because we will deal with the file type as a file, right, input type. So we need to take the nc type attribute in the form, okay, equals to multi-part and form data. Then we need to retrieve that data, everything in the multi-part. So we need to change the code. I think let me try that also in the tomorrow's beginning of the session. So I will take the file and let me change the everything code in that. And so that we will show the image also for the admin. So he will accept and reject, and we will show the my profile and change password in the tomorrow's class. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And please come to the institute, take the projects. We didn't have much time, so thank you.